the chosen one. God says don't search for a job, since it is now His responsibility to provide. This is not a casual message. This is a heavenly pronouncement. You did not come at this time by accident. You were directed. You were sent here to finally comprehend that your responsibilities have altered. Heaven has seized control. God has taken on the task of your life, and you won't have to pursue anymore. No more struggling, no more pleading, and no more burning. Your spirit is out, trying to sort things out. God is stating that this is now my duty. Watch the video. Pay close attention to the very end. Because what you are hearing is more than simply encouragement. It is a blueprint. And offer your fondest wishes. There are now 777 comments. When you boldly express your want, something amazing occurs. It awakens the sky and prompts the cosmos to reply. Stay focused. Something is changing. Even now, you are listening. Now, choose one like this video. If you have not already done so, subscribe to the channel. Let we begin. If you've ever felt drained, fatigued, or like you've been carrying too much for too long, this message is for you. You are not lazy. You are not insufficient. You aren't slipping behind. You are merely in the incorrect system. When God has predestined you for divine provision, you have been hooked into the world's survival strategy. The world instructed you to hustle, work, and never stop moving. God is now speaking something revolutionary. Be still. I'll do it. I'll finance it. I'll open it. I'll carry it. I'll bring it. I'll construct it. I'll make it rain where others seek drought. And I'll do it without you having to fill out any more forms or sprint another mile in fear. God is stating that your effort was never the source. Your compliance reflected the previous way of working, which was based on fear. Fear of not having enough and of being neglected. Fear of becoming trapped. So you labored out of fear rather than trust. You submitted applications with fear rather than excitement. You pleaded for possibilities that were not intended for you. You attempted to integrate yourself into systems that did not recognize your divine fingerprint. You performed occupations that exhausted you not because you lacked purpose, but because you didn't yet realize you had been selected. You believed you had to work for a livelihood, but in reality, you were born with divine inheritance. The current shift is as follows. God is telling you that you no longer need to pursue what I have already allotted to you. The weight is being lifted. You can feel it right now. There is a relaxation in your thoughts, emotions, and money. That pressure to prove oneself, to work harder to win, to beat the clock. That burden is being relieved by a divine pronouncement. God says, "It is my duty, and I care for my own." God does not call and then forsake. He does not awaken your soul in order to start your journey. If He got you this far, He has already prepared the next move. If you've walked steadfastly, sowed in tears, given from your heart, and remained up while sobbing, but did not give up, believe me, heaven took notice. Your name appears on heaven's payroll. You are not forgotten. You are not ignored. You are merely joining a society in which money, labor, and supply flow via heavenly channels rather than worldly reasoning. Don't consider this statement as an encouragement to sloth. This is a cry to unity. You are not being expected to sit idle. You are being asked to have a radical trust. You are being invited to a greater level of relationship with heaven. God is not instructing you to cease utilizing your skills. He's urging you to quit shoving your presence into inappropriate locations. There will be no more tossing pearls before swine. No more utilizing your divine abilities for systems that do not value you. Your abilities, your brightness, your individuality, everything is still required. But now it will be assigned rather than required. It will be put, not pressed. God will establish a method in which it is embraced and rewarded, rather than just tolerated. The fact is that the employment market does not have a role for someone like you. You weren't meant to be caged in. That is why every door you attempted to force open did not open. It wasn't a rejection. It was a redirection. You were shielded from contracts that would have crushed you, businesses that would have abused you, and settings that would have suffocated you. Even when everything seemed to be going wrong, you were saved. It was a favor. Even when it seemed like a loss, it was leading you away. From now on, You will be positioned as a custodian of heavenly riches rather than a human employee. Provision will find you. Resources will find you. People will support you not because you applied, but because you are compatible. You are going to be approached. Opportunities will arise without your intervention. The doors will swing open, not because you pounded forcefully, but because your appearance was predicted. This is the life of the selected. This is the flow of the preferred. You will survive on heavenly teaching, not human fatigue. You'll go through life knowing that heaven has your file on the highest desk of all. God is doing what no employer could. He's producing exactly what you were meant to accomplish. And He is constructing it around your spirit, not just your resume. You are not going into unemployment. You are entering the realm of divine deployment. God is deploying you into a domain where your needs are provided without asking, your money comes from obedience, and your timetable is aligned with serenity. There will be no worry, therefore you will know it is heavenly. There will be no manipulation, so you will know it was sent from above. God does not deceive His children. He rewards them with insight. And right now, you are receiving that clarity. You no longer have to seek for job. Work will search for you. But most significantly, riches will follow you. You are the field that God is watering. You are the vessel that He is filling. Your life is a witness that others will marvel at when they wonder how it occurred. Your only response will be that God did it. I simply followed. And the following. It was not easy. It takes bravery to reject what everyone else was doing. Turning down the job required fortitude. It did not feel right. It required guts to wait when everything in you was screaming to move. But now you'll discover what occurs when you wait for heaven's instructions rather than leaping at earth's diversions. You're going to live a life based on faith, not fear. And certainly, God will provide in unexpected ways. It may be a check or a link, a randomized refund, an amazing gift, a locked door that leads you to something tenfold better. But each time, it will remind you, this is not about hustling. This is about the harvest. You sowed seeds in seasons when no one saw your anguish. And the prize is no longer determined by your social standing. It's about who you are. God will not let you go dry. You're going to encounter the kind of provision that prompts queries. You are going to enter heavenly nourishment, and it will not make sense, but it'll be genuine. And if you still doubt this, consider your own path. Consider the moments when you had no plan yet provision arrived. Consider the times when you were at your lowest point and yet managed to live. That was not luck. That was heavenly duty and movement. God has previously demonstrated that He will deliver when no one else would. Why wouldn't He do it now? Why would He begin this tale but not complete it? God is not the God of partial benefits. He finishes what He started. And He isn't just beginning anything fresh for you. He is completing what others believed was over. You are going to have a fulfilling life. It will be His responsibility, His accomplishment, and His pride. You were never intended to bear the weight of the world on your shoulders. The weight was a deception. That fatigue is a trap. The persistent urge to prove oneself in order to be accepted. To be worth a wage. That was not your destiny. You were born to be cared for. You were designed to walk in the rhythms of divine rest and miraculous flow. And now, in this season, God is revealing what used to be your burden is now His flag over you. You are no longer under strain. You're under promising. And promise always prevails. There is a sound in the spirit. And it is not the sound of straining. It is the sound of capitulation. In that moment of surrender, God starts to move. The chosen one. You've been fighting with tools you weren't supposed to use. You were never intended to compete in the global system. You were supposed to be transported by heaven's supply network. You were built to work in miracles rather than stats. You were never meant to ask the earth for help. You were made to control the atmosphere. You are the head, not the tail. You are no longer underneath, but rather above. This is not arrogance. It's called awareness. And your awareness is granting access. Something sacred is now being rewritten in your life. Your spiritual system is evolving, and you used to believe that you needed to impress others in order to exist. You now recognize that God has already approved you, despite your previous efforts to gain fame. Now recognition will pursue you. You have entered into a pact that no human supervisor can violate. This is not employment. This is a heavenly mission. Your livelihood is supported by a force considerably stronger than any income. It is being choreographed by the same voice that commanded the sun to rise and the water to cease. That voice is now speaking into your life. I got it from here. Here's where things get crazy. God does not see your needs as a problem. He is not in a panic. He is not burdened by your debts, deadlines, or family obligations. He knows just how to move you from point A to miracle B. He is the author. He already understands the story twist. And you, dear chosen one, are going to enter a heavenly provision that was made long before you had the need. That is why your panic is no longer effective. You don't need to work for something that has already been proclaimed yours. You only need to believe, not just in theory, but also in decision-making, stance, and assurance. Provision does not follow worry. Rather, it follows alignment. And you are now aligned with your true purpose, divine timing, and calling. God is taking you out of survival mode and putting you in abundance. You will no longer wake up worrying. You'll wake up wondering, because what comes next will seem unbelievable. It'll seem inexplicable. People will question how you got that deal. Or how did that money come through? And you won't get an earthly explanation. You will just know. I stopped hunting for a job and began listening to God. This is what heaven-funded lifestyle looks like. This is how miraculous employment feels. It is not about you striving. It's about you being shipped. And when God sends you, He will provide you. Just like He fed Elijah by the stream. Just like He gave manna in the desert. The same way He put oil in the widow's jar. He is going to do the same for you. You don't have to knock on every door anymore. You only need to remain motionless and let the doors to knock on you. Allow favor to find you. Allow blessings to announce themselves. Someone is now discussing your name in a room you have never entered. Someone is being allocated to you in the Spirit. And this individual will convey the instructions to bless you, open a gate, sign a document, and give what God has promised. It is already in action. You do not see it yet. However, heaven is not sleeping on your behalf while you slumber. While you are surrendering, the angels will work. The plans are activated. You aren't slipping behind. You are being preserved. You are not forgotten. You are being created. And everything that seems silent today is just God working underground. You are in the midst of a heavenly transfer. The baton of responsibility is passing from your hands to God. The bank of heaven is open on your behalf. And God is now your chief executive, supplier, agent, and manager. You no longer have to wait for callback since heaven has already called your name. Your fortune is no longer based on your efforts. It relates to obedience. When you pursue serenity, you will find provision. When you agree to the quiet little voice, the doors will swing open. It isn't magic. It's miraculous. And that is your inheritance. You've taken too long wondering, what is my job? When the true question is, what is my assignment? Because when you go into your assignment, you are not looking for money. It pursues you. The world has taught you to value security, but God is teaching you how to be trustworthy. Trust is the new currency, and it spends wisely throughout the kingdom. God finances faith. He rewards faith. He respects those who courage to declare, I will not go unless you send me. And He is now putting you into a rhythm of relaxation rather than another rat race. The upcoming season will appear different. You will not follow the same regimen. You will not be linked to the same folks. Your calendar will seem strange. Your hours will change. But that change contains your magical setup. The new beat is God's rhythm. The shift is your cue. He's not just altering your income. He's altering your identity. You're no longer a worker. You are a legacy builder. You are not just hunting for your next job. You are being prepared for your destiny to start paying you. And when God pays, it is crushed down, shaken together, and ran over. Pay careful attention. You're not insane for passing up the chance. You are correct in believing that the old system no longer fits you. You're just waking up. You're merely developing. You're entering your final form. And that shape does not beg. That form is receiving. That shape glides with celestial majesty. Your DNA is no longer programmed to chase. You've been altered to attract. What's intended for you is already on the way. You only need to remain motionless long enough to capture it. Let God bring it. Let God deliver it. Let God prove himself. There will be times when doubt whispers. You have to do something. However, your spirit will scream louder. God is doing it. Let that voice win. Allow the truth to anchor you. Your miracle is not being postponed. It is being detailed. God is fine-tuning it to suit you. The provision you are about to get is not at random. It's been modified. It holds your name, time, ability, and future. It will not overwhelm you. It will uplift you. You will not get just any blessing. You will get the one that was designed around your travel. So breathe. Exhale. You're no longer on man's clock. You are on the calendar of heaven. You do not need another interview. You need further instruction. You do not need to impress anybody. You have to trust the one who has already picked you. You are not jobless. You simply disconnected from the incorrect power source. And now you're being refueled by the wellspring of everything. God is your boss. Angels are your colleagues. Farv is your assignment. And overflow is your pay. You do not need a backup plan. You need bravery. You don't need another email. You need expectation. You do not require a plan. You need to surrender. Because when heaven takes over your paycheck, you'll never be in need again. You will never panic again. You will never doubt your value again. Productivity is not what defines you. It is in your presence. Your existence is sufficient. Your identity is the key. And now that you know who you are, the kingdom is releasing what's yours. The chosen one. The time spent waiting was worthwhile. The quiet was not empty. The gaps were not failures. They were preparing. And now the preparation has a purpose. The holes have become entry points. The quiet has become a strategy. Waiting has become, wait in the spirit. Wait for influence. Wait in authority. You are not light. You are not neglected. You are a power in the invisible world. And now, heaven has set your supply in action. You're not falling behind. You are slipping into divine order. The chosen one. Your path was not random. It was surreptitiously halted so that you would no longer be bound by the restricted rules of work, but by the limitless promise of supply. The world taught you that you needed to prove your value. God is now revealing that you were born with it. This is why the doors had to close. This is why the routes had to collapse. This is why your ideas had to fail. Because what you were constructing with your own hands was insufficient to support the vision God had for your life. You were intended for more. There is a heavenly ecosystem already designed for you in this system. Every detail is sponsored by God. He orchestrates every heavenly relationship he finances, every initiative he puts in your heart. You do not need to know how. It is not your job. It's his. How does heaven fulfill its duty? Your duty is to believe. Your job is to remain faithful, to stay expectant, and to act when you're led, not when you're under pressure. What others chase, you attract what others labor for. You are gifted. This isn't because you're better. It's because you're chosen. And being chosen means you've been handpicked for divine reliance. You're going to feel a deep shift in your mindset. The old thoughts like I need to make ends meet will vanish. That old internal voice that says I can't afford it will lose its grip. It won't happen because you suddenly became rich by man's standards. It will happen because you will be rich in peace. Rich in favor, rich in divine flow. That richness begins in the spirit. And when your spirit is secure, the physical must respond. God is not only changing your outer life, he is transforming. Your inner atmosphere is replacing panic with peace, confusion with clarity, exhaustion with ease. And from this new place, you will receive. Receive what? Support, help, unexpected funds, divine ideas, timely confirmations, strategic placements, people who were assigned to assist you before you were even born. They're coming into alignment now.